Hello, my kangaroos. Welcome to Rue Likes to Review. I am Rue. Warning, there will be spoilers. Angels with Dirty Faces, 1938. Starring James Cagney as Rocky, Pat O'Brien as Jerry. In fact, this is 6 of 9 movies that James Cagney and Pat O'Brien made together. They also were lifelong friends. Humphrey Bogart as James. This movie is the first of 3 movies that James and Humphrey did together. Interesting fact, all 3 main characters, James, Pat, and Humphrey, were all born in 1899. Home Alone, 1990, and Home Alone 2, 1992. Kevin, the main character, watches a movie in each movie. Home Alone, Angels with Filthy Souls. Home Alone 2, Angels with Even Filthier Souls, which is a reference to Angels with Dirty Faces. All scenes for Home Alone and Home Alone 2 were recreated for those movies. You will not see those scenes in the movie Angels with Dirty Faces. This is supposed to be Rocky and Jerry as younger people. There is a goof right in the beginning of the movie. It is said that Harding is nominated for president. That was 1920. Jerry states he wants to see a new movie, The Covered Wagon, which was out in 1923. This young girl represents Lori as a teen with Rocky and Jerry. Lori is played by Ann Sheridan. Jerry and Rocky try to steal and get into trouble. We will see later that Jerry has a scar on his head as an adult. This shows how he got it. We see that Jerry is faster than Rocky, which both characters mention from time to time during the movie. Rocky takes the blame for all of it, tells Jerry to stay out of it. It was hard for Jerry as he wants to do the right thing for his friend. This scene is the divide that each one takes in their lives. Rocky turns out to be a criminal, in and out of prison. This is how Rocky meets James, who is a lawyer who's also a gangster. Rocky and James steal $100,000 together. Rocky and James make a deal. Rocky serves the time, James keeps the money safe. When Rocky gets out, James would have a secured place for him in the gang. Rocky meets up with Jerry, his old friend. Jerry decided to become a priest.
Hello, what do you hear? What do you say?
Hello.
Hey, wait a minute!
I've waited 15 years to do that.
Rocky rents a room where Laurie works. After 15 years, Laurie gets revenge on Rocky. Added humor to a very serious movie.
Hello, what do you hear? What do you say?
What do you hear? What do you say? These 2 phrases Rocky says throughout the movie. Something that James Cagney says he regrets saying these 2 phrases, as Impressionists would recreate these phrases when they would act like him. He got the inspiration to say these phrases from a drug addict pimp who worked a corner in his neighborhood growing up, all twitchy and saying, "What do you hear? What do you say?" every day. Rocky gets robbed by a group of kids. He knows where their hideout is as Jerry and Rocky use the same place as kids themselves. I want to mention all the young actors in this movie. They were called the Dead End Kids. They acted in movies in the late 1930s. Why that name? The Dead End Kids played in Sidney Kinsley's Broadway play Dead End in 1935. 1937, they turned it into a movie, which spawned them appearing in other movies of the era. Rocky sees James and demands his share of the $100,000 and his position in the gang as agreed before Rocky went to prison. Of course, James double-crosses him. He agrees to Rocky's share of the money, but not to be part of the gang. Rocky is smart and knows James wants to kill him, but Rocky makes sure the gang kills one of its own. There is a goof in the scene. There is already a bullet hole in the glass before anyone shoots. Towards the end of the movie, Rocky is cornered by the police who are looking for him, and they corner him in this warehouse. Rocky gets captured and sent to prison. Do you recognize this guard? If you watched my last review on G-Men, you would recognize him. It's the actor Edward Pauley, who played opposite to James Cagney in G-Men as a gangster. Here is Edward as a prison guard. Before the next scene, a prison guard tells Rocky he has 10 minutes, which in reality, there is indeed only 10 minutes left in the movie. Rocky is sentenced to death by the electric chair. Jerry comes to see him and asks one favor of him. Which, by the way, I didn't get the true meaning of the favor the first time I watched this movie. It wasn't until I watched it again that I got the gravity of this favor. The favor is Jerry wants Rocky to be a coward before he dies. Cry, scream, beg for mercy, to make Rocky not this big, tough gangster. Why Jerry asks this of Rocky? He wants the reporters to report that Rocky died a coward. Jerry wants the young guys to stop looking up at Rocky, stop looking at him as a role model. He wanted to show that gangsters are not tough, that they are human, that they are afraid of death just like everyone else. Rocky tells Jerry no. In fact, he tells him no all the way up to the electric chair. Then he decides to do this for his good friend. He goes out as a coward. I was trying to find an old gangster movie I haven't seen before, because I do love them. My husband said, "What about that movie in Home Alone? Is that a real one?" I was like, "Oh yeah." So I googled it and found this movie, Angels with Dirty Faces. I was hoping to see the scenes from Home Alone and Home Alone 2 in it, and I was disappointed when I didn't. I understand that this movie does have a place in history of old gangster movies, even though it has a dark meaning in it. So let's go to the rating. Rating time. 1 being the worst, to 5 being the best. I give Angels with Dirty Faces, 1938, a 3. I personally do not like this movie and care not to watch it again. It was annoying to me, all the scenes with the dead-end kids. I didn't care for them in this movie, even though I understand that the end has to do with them. There was a lot of filler of the dead-end kids, Jerry the priest, and Rocky the gangster in this movie that could have just been cut and moved along faster. Another time waster that didn't make sense to me was the relationship between Rocky and Lori. I understand they wanted a love interest in this movie, but it didn't seem natural. It seemed more forced for them to be together. What I can appreciate about this movie is the cleverness of Rocky, and all the action scenes are awesome. I'd say it is worth at least one watch. Thank you for watching my review on Angels with Dirty Faces, 1938. If you like this review, please give me a like, as I really would appreciate it, and become a subscriber. I will see you kangaroos in the next video.